Hello everybody. In this video, we will try to understand some more interesting things about Mrigashira Nakshatra. So Mrigashira is mainly associated with Lord Moon, and it has good amount of intelligence associated with it, and also fickleness, gentleness, tenderness, jovialness, all these things are associated with it. But when a bad planet is sitting in Mrigashira Nakshatra, it may lead to the fickleness, problems related to multiple seeking. It's something like Mrigashira is nothing but seeking. Mrigashira's energy is nothing but seeking. When a good planet is sitting there, of course, they seek for good things. The seeking is very streamlined, very structured and disciplined, systematic, that is good. But if they seek for some multiple things, the mind will exhaust, right? So the mental work, the kind of mental work they do, it really matters. And a lot of Mrigashira types are prone to physical lethargy. So that make them functionally useless. And this particular physical lethargy makes them susceptible to physical ailments. That's what we discussed. And of course, they're smiley, jovial, light-hearted, warm, gentle. These are all there, of course. They are the restless type also, and may appear as flaky to others. And they usually convey a sense of fragility through their appearance and mannerisms. Their mind is always roaming about because they are the seekers. Mrigashiras are seekers. Their mind is always roaming about, which in many cases takes the form of daydreaming. So daydreaming is associated with Mrigashira Nakshatra because their mind is always roaming about. They are charming, spontaneous, enthusiastic types. They enjoy meeting and relating with people. They are good conversationalists, of course. They are good advisors. They enjoy all vocal activities like talking and singing as well. And they have a poetic soul and enjoy beauty in both spoken and written forms of communication. And Mrigashira is mainly associated with disrupting married life through misunderstanding. Because Mrigashira is associated with deer, and the connection of deer with Ramayana also emphasizes this fact. Sita wanted that deer, and Rama went to get the deer, and thereafter Ravana came and he took away Sita, and that's the problem in the married life due to some illusion of Sita there. So Mrigashira Nakshatra is famous for disrupting married life through misunderstandings and illusions. And Mrigashira people are natural satirists and have a strong sense of humor, which comes about due to their varied experiences. Mrigashira is associated with moon very, very strongly. And despite their conversational skill and sociability, they are naturally shy also. Their shyness has to do with their inherent timidity. When you talk about Mrigashira, you talk about timidity. They are gentle, they are timid, they are fickle. They don't like confrontations and therefore are very cautious regarding whom they mingle with. Mrigashira people, they do not like confrontations. When you confront a Mrigashira person, he is hurt more. He is hurt more than anything. So, do not confront a Mrigashira person. He may get hurt a lot. They are very, very jovial. They're soft people. They love life and know how to suck delight out of it. Just like gods take delight out of drinking somarasa, the celestial nectar, and Mrigashira is very much related to somarasa, the celestial nectar. A honey bee buzzing about sucking juice from different flowers sums up Mrigashira's functioning in this regard, if you imagine. Mrigashira natives are often quite whimsical in their approach. Just like a honey bee would choose not to suck juice from a particular flower for no apparent rhyme or no apparent reason. Right? A honeybee just wanders here and there and it sucks honey from one flower and it leaves another flower. Right? So they are, of course, they are wanderers, they search, they seek, and they are cautious regarding whom they mingle with. Mrigashira craves excitement in all its mild and benevolent forms and is not prone to go to self-destructive extremes like cruel nakshatras. Mrigashira is a soft nakshatra. They craves excitement. They are mild. They are soft. Mrigashira is not at all self-destructive. Mrigashira natives often display a highly suspicious nature. This comes about due to their high alertness levels and their ability to sense danger, just like deer or stags do in their forest environment. Right? Mrigashira is very much related to deers. When you talk about Mrigashira, you talk about deers. This particular suspicious nature is especially troublesome in regards to marital felicity. They have this suspicious nature. They apply this suspicious nature in the married life also. See, like all the nakshatras ruled by Mars, Mrigashira promotes domestic bickerings due to suspicion and an inability to be attentive to their partner's needs. Mars ruling nakshatras have this problem. The domestic life, disruption of domestic life due to suspicion and an inability to be attentive to their partner's needs. What are your partner's needs? A Mrigashira person has to understand. Their partners usually get more attached to them than they do. Mrigashira is a part Bohemian nakshatra and doesn't like restricting its affections to one person. It's a Bohemian nakshatra. Right? So it generally doesn't like restricting its affection to one person. So those having a strong influence of this particular nakshatra in their charts usually experience marital disharmony in one form or the other. Martian nakshatras or generally speaking, Martian nakshatras are not good for marriage. However, if both partners give each other enough space, Mrigashira, through its lovingness and delightfulness, promotes profound marital stability like that of Parvati and Shiva. So, the lovingness and delightfulness, that they give, they have to give each other enough space. That's where Parvati and Shiva, right, did with each other. Parvati belongs to Mrigashira Nakshatra. Goddess Parvati, Ma Parvati, belongs to Mrigashira Nakshatra. And Lord Shiva and Parvati, when they gave enough space to each other, just observe, the marital harmony was very good. Since Mrigashira signals the arrival of mercurial energy through beginning the sign Gemini, because Mrigashira's first two padas are in Taurus and the third and fourth padas are in Gemini. It is the place where discrimination is born, right? So Mrigashira signals the arrival of Mercury energy basically. It is the place where discrimination is born, the discrimination, because of the beginning of the sign Gemini. So it is also the first nakshatra where conclusions are drawn and fixed opinions are formed as a result of experiences. So you can see the drawing conclusions and forming fixed opinions as a result of experiences. Right? Because in Rohini you see it's always about experiencing, always about manifesting your thoughts. And then after that, what you see basically, after your experience, you form a conclusion. That is Mrigashira. After your experience, you form an opinion. That is Mrigashira. So Mrigashira, despite its lightness, is a very fixed nakshatra when it comes to attitudes and opinions. It will never back down in any civilized argument. Right? It will never back down. It will never back down in any civilized argument. So in its highest functioning, Mrigashira makes one very conscious of their life path and purpose. The whole point of this particular nakshatra is to make one go through a variety of experiences for finding one's true path in life. So, for example, see, if one was born to be a singer, one may dabble around with a lot of other things like painting, writing, or just, plain 9 to 5 jobs before their true niche is actually discovered, right? In the case of highly evolved souls, the varied experiences generate the various experience that they have, that they actually have through the energy of this particular nakshatra, all fit a definite and singular purpose. Right? So, if one was born to be a singer, they dabble around different things, they dabble around variety of experiences, right? And then finally they come to one conclusion that I want to become a singer. After dabbling around various experiences. But of course, there are some highly evolved souls related to Mrigashira. Um, they have a definite singular purpose. But generally speaking, Mrigashira people, they fickle around multiple things, and finally, they come to one conclusion of, their life path. They generally dabble around different varieties of experiences. They are fickle minded. They are fickle minded, especially if some 10th house planet is not so good, then definitely the Mrigashira native would dabble around multiple things, and they cannot know their career, or they cannot if 10th house lord is not so comfortable, then definitely the Mrigashira native, right, they cannot choose a career very decently, very quickly, you can say, in decent amount of time. They would take a lot of amount of time. They would dabble around multiple experiences. They check with different experiences, and finally they get to uh, one conclusion. But if 10th house lord is good and Mrigashira Nakshatra has some decent amount of energy, and of course a higher evolved soul, even if the sun, even if Saturn is very good, of course they can choose the career very nicely, right? So the experiences are sometimes, they are endless maze without a final destination. That kind of things they may encounter. They are fickle minded, that is the inherent behavior. So in the universal scheme of things, Mrigashira relates to um, Prinana Shakti, the power to give fulfillment. Prinana Shakti is nothing but the power to give fulfillment. Its symbolism has extension above and weaving below, right? So this is obviously a representation of fabric undergoing the weaving process. So the power to give fulfillment, they have this, right? So if you take this fabric to the fabric of life, then Mrigashira is the structure and principles which create beauty in the chaotic process which is life. So basically, Mrigashira is something like drawing conclusions after different experiences, because they dabble around different things. Because once Rohini has the creation power, the power to manifest the thoughts into existence, then Mrigashira is here to experience different things and finally coming to one conclusion. So when your 10th house has a severe connection with Mrigashira, just imagine the person may switch from one profession to one another profession, and then finally, it is possible that the person may end up with no profession, or he may not decide which profession is actually suitable to him, and it's something like endless maze without destination. If you observe how this particular Mrigashira Nakshatra functions, it's a passive nakshatra. It's passivity related to a strong awareness of others. So Mrigashira usually doesn't have the spotlight on itself and has its attention concentrated on the outside. So in a way, it is a passive nakshatra in relation to the dynamics of the self. It belongs to farmer caste generally. You can say in ancient times, Mrigashira was often related to artisans, agricultural workers, and community in general. So that time they, segregated this into uh, this particular farmer community. So it is a neutral nakshatra basically. So Mrigashira is basically you can say it's a uh, neutral nakshatra. It has that energy to make male and female energy equal. So this dual functioning is very clear from its ruling deities Moon and Parvati. Right? Moon is seen as a male deity by the Vedic rishis, while Parvati is a female companion of Shiva. Moon, in the sense, it's Soma. In that aspect, we're talking. Moon has a lot of femininity, of course. Right? So, Moon is actually here taken as Shiva. Shiva's another name is Soma. In that aspect, the male, things are taken into account here. So another important thing I want to tell you, it's a very neutral nakshatra. Basically, it has that male and female energies balancing, right? The Shiva and Parvati's equal, equal energy contribution, you can say. And the body parts associated here, eyes and eyebrows are the body parts related to Mrigashira Nakshatra. So it is a Pitta Nakshatra, that is fiery Nakshatra. This seems very, very true from the fact that it is the birthplace of Martian energy. Martian is fiery, that is Pitta. So Mars, as we know, is a primarily Pitta planet. So Mrigashira's fiery quality is not fierce or hurtful. That is also we need to keep in mind. Its fierce quality, it's not hurtful. Its fiery quality is not hurtful. It can be related to the fire which cooks our food. That's it. Or the digestive fire which digests the food in our stomach, but not the kind of fire that hurts. So if you see the range of Mrigashira, it's the arc between southwest and northwest. What is southwest basically? Southwest. Southwest is Nairuti, right? Southwest is basically Nairuti. It is called as Nairuti. So the arc between Nairuti and what is northwest? Northwest is Vayuvya. So the arc between Nairuti and Vayuvya, if you draw an arc between Nairuti, that is southwest direction, so in that southwest put a dot, and in the northwest put a dot and draw an arc. That arc direction is basically the direction of Mrigashira. So northwest is basically Vayuvya and southwest is Nairuti. Southwest put a dot, that is in Nairuti put a dot, Vayuvya put a dot, join those two dots with an arc. That arc is basically Mrigashira. So thanks for watching this video. In our upcoming videos we will try to understand more about Mrigashira Nakshatra. Thank you.